And welcome back to another daily devotion. I am Pastor Roy here at Woodlawn Christian Church in Lake City, Iowa, and this devotion is for Thursday, December 14th of 2023. Tomorrow we'll be halfway through the month. Wow. Well, actually, Saturday at noon. But anyway, I digress. We are in the Gospel of Mark, and we are in the first chapter still. Tomorrow we'll finish chapter 1, but today we're looking at verses 35 to 38. And Jesus is going to take the show on the road, as we say in the RSV. It's a preaching tour in Galilee. We're not going to stick around Capernaum no more, no more. We're going to take this show on the road and take it out to the people. So let's jump in and see what Jesus is talking about and what's going on and what maybe we can see it here applies to us and our ministry. We're talking about Jesus' ministry. This is the beginning of his ministry. We talked about that before. He started healing people. He healed Peter's mother-in-law yesterday. But let's jump in. Verses 35 to 39, first chapter, the Gospel of Mark. Excuse me. And in the morning, a great while before day, he rose and went out to a lonely place, and there he prayed. And Simon and those who were with him pursued him. And they found him and said to him, "Everyone is searching for you." And he said to them, "Let us go on to the next towns, that I may preach there also, for that is why I came out." And he went throughout all Galilee, preaching in their synagogues and casting out demons. And remember, we don't have it immediately in this one, but we got a lot of ands, and. So it's still, the tempo is moving quickly. In the morning, and in some translations, this is translated as being sometime between 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. It's early. He's getting up early. Jesus is an early bird. No time to waste. We've got people to save. We've got the word to distribute it. But he rises and he goes out into a lonely place. This is a wilderness. This is the same as where he went out into the wilderness. Same word. He went out into a lonely place, the wilderness, to pray. And Jesus does this before he does big things. He always seems to pause and take some time to recharge physically, or not physically, but spiritually. Got up early. He's not recharging physically, for pity's sakes, but he's recharging spiritually. And that's something we need to watch for ourselves before we get into something. I try to do that on Sunday mornings and say a quick prayer, and I get up in the morning and then start reflecting on the word before I preach. That's a pretty common Sunday morning thing for me, to spend time by myself, just me and my kitty cat or two. Usually have Annabelle with me and sometimes Sophie with me. The boys are gone, but just the two girls are with me. But at any rate, I spend some time sitting there thinking. I've done enough reading, enough research, and in the morning on Sunday, it's all about thinking. It's all about praying. It's all about meditation, and not about any more actual sermon prep in research and such. And that's what Jesus is doing before he goes out on this preaching tour, and it's just this taking the word to these other places in Galilee. He's a tour in Galilee. He's not going outside the region yet. He's staying within Galilee. He's spending some time in prayer and preparation. Simon and the rest pursue him. They find him. Everyone is searching for you. And a lot of emotion there too. Everyone is searching for you. A lot of energy, we should say. And then he says to them, "Let us go on to the next towns." We've got the word started here. We've got the spark going. Let's move on. We need to take this show on the road, as we said at the beginning. We need to take this to the next place. We need to prepare those. We don't sit in one spot. We don't keep the light underneath the basket. Now, for some of us, we are in settled ministry, as myself. I'm here in Lake City at Woodlawn. Been here for, closing in on 9 years, I guess it is. It's been a long time. And perhaps one would say, well, bro, it's time to move on. Well, the point is not necessarily that we just constantly are moving around, but are we preparing other people to take the ministry on the road? Do we have young people in our church that we can bring up, that they're going to move on and take the show on the road? We need to be preparing those folks for that. Ryan Daisy, he's done a lot of preaching in different parts of the state of Iowa. I'm not sure if Ryan's done any preaching over in Nebraska or not, but he's definitely done a lot of it. He was a minister at one church while he was in college. And then he's been doing substitute work. He's been doing public supply. But he's definitely someone that was raised up here in this church and then let go and sent on to take the word other places. I'm not sure if he's doing any pulpit supply. He's living in Council Bluffs, Omaha area. I'm not sure if he's doing any pulpit supply over there, but I'm certain he could be if he would just get the word out. But he may be a little bit too busy. He is an attorney after all. So at any rate, we do want to be bringing people up, but he's still doing God's work, even if he's not necessarily in a settled ministry or substitute pulpit supply type thing, substitute pastoring or part-time pastoring. He's still doing God's work. He's still spreading the gospel to folks, and that's what we need to do, even if they're not actually in the ministry per se. We're all ministers, guys and gals. We need to be raising our kids up. We need to be focusing on that, but we need to be teaching them to spend some time in prayer to build up their spiritual strength as well as their physical strength. You need to have the energy to do the job, but it's also important that you have the spiritual energy, because by golly, generally that's what you're going to run out of first. That's going to be the most draining, is the emotional and spiritual as opposed to the physical. All right, I think that's what I've got for you today. Have a blessed day. And please, 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 as I say, be a blessing to someone today. Best way to bless them would be to tell them about Jesus. If you do like these devotions, please do like and subscribe. We'd love to have you back. Please feel free to share the videos around on Facebook, what have you, or what other social media you're on. I'm not on many. Instagram and Facebook, that's more than enough for me. Have a blessed day, as I said, and YouTube. Can't forget that. Have a blessed one. Tell them about God. Be a blessing to someone. Can't talk. And tell them about Jesus. God loves you. Bye-bye. Take care.